Randomus Namus, to talk about some Blood Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Randomus Namus, and this is Kyle Muir, and we've got ProZock with us too. It's going to be great. We're going to talk about Wales Conference first.
Yeah, and I'm ProZock.
Yeah, that's ProZock over there.
All right, we just want to go from the top?
Yeah, let's just go from the top like we normally do. There's been some loud games in this conference. They were very one-sided.
Yep. We, at the top, have Already Dad versus Butt, Sweat, and Tears. That's
It's Kimry and Brett's, Zushio and Jimmy.
Yep. Zushio's MVP goes to Hack, his star player. And Jimmy's MVP goes to a lineup, but he scored 3 touchdowns, so...
Yeah, he leveled a bunch of mans. This was an ugly game. Like, Zushio's already playing from behind the ball. He's down a mummy right now. And it was ugly. Like, the chainsaw he induced to try and even this up kills itself on turn 4, and like we have a mummy KO'd on turn 3, and like that's just the start. It just goes downhill from there. Like, Jimmy busts the cage on 6 and takes the ball and scores, and then he like scores on his drive easy, and since Kimry's just down so many people, he gets to score on 16 again easily because Kimry doesn't pick the ball up because Kimry.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at Kimry, and they've got 50% ball possession, but I guess that's just their first half while they get stalled.
Yeah, pretty much. They get stalled, and eventually Jimmy just like pops it and runs it cross field.
Yep. I mean, now he was able to apparently afford his last blitzer from this game, so...
Oh, did he get another blitzer? That's good.
It's either this game or the one next week that we're not talking about
Yeah.
yet.
But he gets a bunch of levels out of this. He levels both of his dodge blitzers and gets tackle and then plus strength on one. And then a no-skill blitzer grabs dodge. And then he gets a peasant with dirty player too, so that's happening.
Yeah, yeesh. Well,
all of this all cost him a peasant, but no one cares about move bust peasant.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, on the bright side, Zushio, you didn't die this week, so good on you.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you expect from 3 Mummy, Kimry, or 3 Tomb Guardian, whatever the hell they're called. I'm sorry, Brett's probably at their literal prime right now, so life's hard.
Yeah, unless this guy gets strength. Next game?
Yeah, next game was our bye for the weeks. Rylon has become a little disenfranchised with Blood Bowl and the terrible dice, so he's going to step out for the league. So if anybody listening wants to take his spot, now's the time to step up and do so.
I think we might already have a filler, but I'm not 100% on that.
Oh, do we? That's
Either
good.
Way,
awesome.
I don't expect this to stay empty for long.
Yeah, no, this won't be a bye, but for like a week or 2. I wouldn't worry about that.
At any rate, Voyager definitely needed a little bit of time to rest. So we got a second level on a mummy and a level on a zombie. So, good things.
Oh, good. What did he get on that mummy? I didn't look.
Good question. I haven't looked either. I'll look.
Let's find out.
Level 2, right?
Oh, he gets block on... No, he hasn't picked it. He hasn't picked either of them.
Yep. Oh, hey, and he has a white level, too, from all that. Lucky guy.
Yeah, I think he has that white level from, like, last week, right? Or did he finally pick it before the bye?
No, he just has 3 levels.
He banked his levels from last week, too, because he has this bye this week.
And he's also banked a giant pile of cash to go buy, I guess, a ghoul with.
Probably a ghoul, yeah.
Actually, a ghoul takes him exactly to 150, so that's probably the smart investment.
That would be my guess.
He can get guard on that white, and that makes the team a lot better.
I agree with you 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Guard white. But, his call. Who knows? Maybe he rolls doubles and gets dodge. Maybe he gets diving tackle. Who knows?
I don't know. At this point in the league, I'd take guard over like anything but agi or strength.
Maybe he wants to go play and get thick skull.
Yeah, you could take thick skull.
You could. You physically can take that skill.
That's technically an option.
All right, back to the games.
So yeah, next up is me versus our new team, the Vampires. I beat up some Vamps. The secret is you separate the Vampires from the Thralls, and then when the Vampires roll 1s, they have to run back to the Thralls, and then the plays don't ever get made.
Apparently this is the game where I get agi or some shit.
Yeah, you leveled up from the MVP and you rolled plus agi. I also hired Nerdanef as whatever you call the Dauntless Norse guys. It's not a blitzer, but whatever the hell they're called on this. It's a runner, maybe?
Actually runners.
It's a runner, yeah, okay. But that guy, I got both touchdowns on Nert in my game against Nert, so he leveled and got dodge.
That makes sense. That was Nerd in this game as well. Nerd was pretty aggressive.
I decided that I would take all of Nert's luck and shove it into one of my own players, and it worked, basically.
Yep. Oh, well, apparently his next game is exciting. But again, next week.
Yeah, that's next week.
These are fun leagues to follow.
Yeah,
all right,
so
we've got... Oh, I just watched this one. Noir versus Unpunchable Things. Sunda versus Zushio. And man,
this is Elves v Elves.
This is where you get Bash Elves doing their fucking thing.
This is look at this SPP box. Look at this. This is exactly what we predicted last week, right?
He gets the ball, he cages up with it, and he just goes through the other team.
Yeah, pretty much.
Possession of it once, gets it back, and scores in the first half.
Yeah, man.
In the second half, he just takes over two of his opponent's drive because they just don't have enough elves left.
This is a 3-0 through Wood Elves getting a turn 1 blitz on a short kick.
I mean, he was pretty aggressively set up, and he just caged. Like, he wasn't able to completely take it over.
So, like, I think that this game goes very differently if that ball bounces the other way on turn 1.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, that's Blood Bowl, though. And then, like, the removals just piled up for Bus as this game went on. There just were not very many elves by the second half, like, on the Wood Elf team. And then Bus just, like, runs all over him.
Elves can go low on players against normal teams, but against other elves, it kind of fucks them up, too.
Exactly. Like, against other elves, they're just going to out-elf you because they have more guys.
Like, he's not as mobile, but he's got the man.
When you have twice as many guys...
He nearly pitch clears him mid-second point. At the last point, he just overtakes his drive because he doesn't have anything left to defend.
Yeah, it was
a little afraid playing this out, but I think Wood Elves are not the best positioned in Elf League.
So I think that they're kind of poorly positioned in Elf League just because of the layout of Elf League. And I think it's specifically Wood Elves. Like, if we were bashier, I think the Wood Elves would be fine because they just kind of go under the bash teams. But we don't have any, like... Fair. We don't have a monster AV7 dwarf team or whatever, so the Dark Elves get to do all the Wood Elf stuff, but they beat the Wood Elves.
The bashiest team in this is the Undead.
Or the Khemri, either one.
We'll see about that. We'll see where that goes. Yeah, the Khemri, if the Khemri recover, they potentially can just put a bunch of elves in the ground.
Exactly. They're never out, but it's hard to actually win games with Khemri. Like, you can beat up the pitch and take it over and still lose 2-0, like...
Speaking of winning games, the next game is, oh my god. I also watched this one. This is your classic shootout. Like, it's just a case of, the first half is probably my favorite thing, because it's like, Skink has the ball, Rat has the ball, Skink has the ball, Rat has the ball. Just back and forth.
Exactly.
Back and forth.
I think Tim uses his bolt in the first half to start that cascade, and then the ball changes hands basically every turn for the entire half. And then eventually Sign gets the ball back and scores, but it's on 7, so Tim gets to 2 turn back.
Yep. I noticed there was a Storm Vermin in the side and a Skink ejected for fouling.
Indeed, there was. It was that Mighty Blow Claw Tackle Storm Vermin caught a boot, but unfortunately the injury was only badly hurt.
Hey, you know what? Good on you, Sign. I have to call you out. Good on you for fouling there. That is the right thing to do for your team and everybody else's.
Kill it, yeah, man.
Let your boys, and you nearly gave everybody a good day, but good on you.
Yeah, and then like the second half is just the classic Rat v Lizard shootout that ends up 2-1 in Tim's favor, and like it is what it is.
We've gone either way, but that's tempo for you.
Yeah. And then, like, we have some interesting development here, too. The Bloxagore levels, he gets tackle. A Skink levels and gets sidestep. And we get another Saurus.
The Bloxagore rolls another double.
Yeah, exactly. The Bloxagore gets a second double.
On a piece with prehensile tail.
Exactly. It's a monster now. Enjoy your 3 pluses.
Oh, well, I'm glad I'm not on this division, then, because that's a nightmare.
Yeah,
this kills goblins dead.
This was 5th Saurus for the lizards, which is great for them. And spoiler for next week, they get their 6th Saurus next week. So the lizards are online.
And one thing that was good on the game too is that in the end he did Saurus Ball, and he got the touchdown on one of his Saurus players.
So we start out as you mean the first half? We start out as Saurus ball, but that's like accidental. The ball ends up on a Saurus because it bounces to a Saurus.
Yeah, no, but his last touchdown, he actually handed off. He got his king handed off to Saurus and did a touchdown for Saurus.
Oh, so he did. I didn't even see that. That's good. That's certainly a great plan for these not block Sauruses. Get the SPP on them.
Yeah, this is like, I don't know if you're actually just not new and we misread it, or if you are new and you're taking good advice, but whatever you're doing it right.
He's pretty new. I was talking to him here the other day when he was playing Nert next week, and he's pretty new, but he's certainly open to learning, and he's doing a good job of picking up his mistakes. He's got the right mindset where he's just going to kind of power through all the fuck-ups. It's good.
Yeah. All right, so now to the division that ProZock and I had a game in, and there were other games played as well. Oh, I've only watched one other game in this division, but it was a fun one.
Yeah, let's go look at Campbell for a minute.
Screwy view of fun.
So, first thing to note about Campbell is here this second game. We'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Antler Hill v Gnatic. There was some interesting things happened in this game. I have a couple of comments for Antler Hill, and that is, be real careful not getting your boys surfed.
Oh dear. That could be rough.
So now this match was like a surf fest, which is really exciting because we're in a beer stand stadium for this game. Now on like turn 5, the Minotaur surfs a wolf, which is great, and then he like fails the GFI to get back off of the sideline to get to avoid getting counter surfed. And the ground fucking badly hurts him, so we lose the Minotaur, like, immediately in this game, too. It's becoming, like, really kind of distressing how little time this Minotaur spends on the field.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, then a little later on in this game, basically how this becomes a 2-0, Furl ends up with, like, 4 KOs by turn 7 when he scores. None of them stand up on turn 8, and only one of them stands up on turn 9.
Oh, well, yeah. A bunch of KOs lying down is going to be rough.
Exactly.
That's Goondayak or Gonatic or however you say his name. Putting some work in.
Oh, yeah, sorry. My apologies.
Okay.
And then, sorry, the other Necro team. But an important thing happened later on in this game, too. When Gonatic runs away with the ball in the second half, he leaves it on a wolf by the sideline, and this hero loner goat blitzes him into the sidelines and fucking kills him.
Oh, nice.
So there's a Black Mighty Blow wolf that's dead now. Everyone rejoices.
This is what you call a Pyrrhic victory.
This is the most Pyrrhic of victories, yeah.
I'm especially rejoicing because I'm fighting him now this week, and having to be one less Mighty Blow block guy to kill everyone, it's awesome.
Oh man, it's like one less Claw Mighty Blow guy to kill your trolls. It's great for you.
Yeah.
And then this was a loud game in general. Dead wolf, no replacement for the wolf. Beastman levels and gets block. A zombie levels and gets kick. There's no money to replace this wolf. It's not even close either. And there's no ghouls on this undead either, or necro rather. This team needs some money real bad.
Welcome to Necro Starts. It's utterly brutal for your first forever.
Yeah, well, I mean, he lost his only ghoul, right, in week 1 or 2, right? And then he loses this wolf here, so now he's like down positionals. And that start without the 2 ghouls, man, it's brutal.
You can't start with ghouls and both wolves. You just don't have ghouls.
Am I conflating this with the Necro start? Not Necro, Undead start. Sorry. Ignore me. That I'm busy trying to put shit on this that's wrong.
You're conflating Necro and Undead, but
I
whatever.
am.
And one thing that's gonna happen next game is if that wolf is anywhere near unprotected, he's gonna get chainsawed everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, man, yeah, that wolf. Now that is the only wolf, it is a huge target.
Yeah, and you know how to play some goblins, so let's talk about that because well, I lost to you, and that's a loss to goblins. That looks kind of bad on me. I only think I had one major fuck up, and that was real. Not knowing that the goblins are going to take the uphill to surf you every fucking time because they're stunties.
Yeah. They get in there and do it too.
So that's how I lost my point. And your first half was just well played, such that I just couldn't stall you, and you got your point. So that's that. I did blitz every single chance I could get with the Mighty Blow tackle guy, and I hit every single 3DB I could get with the block mummies, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, and you got my Fanatic out like what, turn 3 or 4?
It was 3. No, I was hoping to get your Fanatic. Like my one plan going into this game was, okay, I've got a mummy, and if I can get a mummy and 3 guys next to the Fanatic, I'm gonna hit that thing.
You can kill a Fanatic, yeah.
Yeah, I badly hurt it. Was pretty happy about that. That was the points on Timpani.
Yeah, one thing that I'm really getting, because like I've played a lot of. This is the first time that I'm actually playing goblins in a actually trying to play goblins. But I played a lot of halflings before, and goblins are like instead of getting halflings, you get goblins, which are better.
Yeah, they're faster and just better.
You get 2 shit 3s.
So now, you've also played some Underworld before too, so you're no stranger to trolls and goblins, right?
No, and I'm a big fan of getting my trolls as snacks. I just haven't had a chance of throwing any goblins yet.
Yeah, I see you like never throw a goblin. It's really kind of depressing because you're just like always in a commanding position.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like because the troll teammates play with the goblins, it's not like a regular play like you have with the flanks, because the trolls suck.
Right, like you throwing a goblin is exceedingly risky, like 30+% risky.
Yeah, I throw goblins. Usually, I throw goblins when like if there wasn't a side cage, and I could just try to surf the ball carrier, I would 100% have tried to throw a goblin in there.
Just like throw a goblin into the cage?
Yeah, because it's just like, hey, if a goblin dies and hits someone, it's profit. If he dies and doesn't hit anyone, it's profit too, because you don't really play goblins if you want to win. You play to have fun.
That's true, and so it's a little strange because you play these goblins to have fun, but you're winning. It's because you position your guys right and you use your trolls as pillars and stuff, but like you're good at it. And I want to hear why you are so good at goblins.
So real talk, the trolls were a huge fucking pain in the ass. Like I was basically having to feed them zombies, and the Mighty Blow troll hits are just not something that I can really stand up to with, again, the zombies.
Yeah, man, block Mighty Blow that easily gets a 3-die is a motherfucker.
That or try and screen them, and screening those trolls is actually not that great because you're pretty good about supporting them. Like I felt your positioning was really, really rock solid in this.
That is one thing I have noticed watching ProZock's games is that his positioning with his goblins and also his trolls is on point like every turn.
Yeah, the positioning is definitely what makes or breaks any kind of style player. Like I've played lots and lots and lots of halflings, and that taught me a lot about how to position my useless guys in ways to be a pain in the ass. Because goblins, lots of people think that the points of playing goblins is, oh, I'm just gonna like use my secret weapons and I'm gonna win the game using the secret weapons. You're not. Your secret weapons, they are, in my opinion, they are more. Your trolls are more useful than your secret weapons.
I agree with that.
When he got my Fanatic out, I was like, okay, fuck it. The Fanatic is out. It's not like it was going to change much in the game.
So, like, explain to me basically your goal, your plan in a game. Like, you have all these secret weapons, but they're basically just to give you like a first half removal spike, right? Like, they are there to be a flash in the pan, and you expect them all to be dead by like turn 5, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like I really, really try to protect my chainsaw because it's one of the most useful things that I have. But you can't really protect it much. If you have a chance to use your secret weapon, you use it. Like on my last game, I lost my secret weapon on turn 1, which is pretty shitty. I lost the chainsaw on turn 1, but that's because there was a tackle Mighty Blow White open to get chainsaw. Like, I'm not gonna protect my chainsaw if I see that. I'm gonna try to kill the white.
Blitz saw 40k man, get in there.
That's absolutely correct.
The chainsaw does no good if you don't use them.
A wild TimNeilson appears.
Chainsaw is terrifying. Hello.
Yeah, I'm lucky that the chainsaw didn't fuck me up more. Like, I was able to no-sell the Fanatic and just go at him, but that chainsaw was the threat the entire game. So I was basically trying to not base against it and either put it on the ground or just put it in a position where it didn't have great blitzes. And sometimes it just made those blitzes anyway. It's like, I hope my dudes live. And thankfully they did. Like, I consider this a decent game because I got out intact. And I learned a thing about how stunties are going to serve you if you sideline cage. Yeah, that was a real lesson.
It's and one of the things that about the positioning, because you asked me like what I'm trying to do with my position, is you really, if you're a goblin, you really can't expect that you're gonna stop movement from your opponent, because it's really easy for you to be in a number disadvantage, and it's really easy to just like one single guy punches a goblin out and that's it, he's out. So you need to always be threatening. You need, like, for example, if my opponent has the ball, I want to threaten him as much as I can, but I know that he's going to move forward. So I'm trying to make sure that, for example, oh, look, if you're going to score as fast as you can, because I'm going to be chainsawing everything that you have, and I'm going to be fouling everything that you have. And if you try to stay still, I'm going to throw a goblin at you, or I'm going to straight up minus 3 dB you in your cage.
You're just like, you try and make it real clear that if they wait a turn, they are taking a risk.
Exactly, because the thing with the goblin, like, I've been extremely lucky in my first 3 games. Like,
that's how you win with goblins, yeah.
Yeah, you need to be lucky. But for example, my first game was against orcs. And what happened was I was extremely lucky, but then I made one mistake, and that mistake cost me a tie.
That's sad.
When you go play a game of Goblin, you're not expecting to win. If you get a tie, that's like a win for you.
Exactly, like Stunty's tying is a win.
Man, I'm hearing that in Rusty's voice right now because I've heard him say those exact words. I have to ask, because I'm trying to improve my play here. Should I have been hitting your trolls? I don't see a point in hitting trolls usually because they're just fat sacks of shit. But on the Goblin team, they're shitty trees, but they're still strong pieces.
They're his 2 main pieces.
The thing is, I wouldn't be hitting the Goblin trolls, because what happens is the trolls are very important, but the trolls are not going to do shit if they don't have goblins around. So if you kill the goblins, then the trolls are just, like you said, big sacks of shit that don't really do much.
Yeah, it's way easier.
89 and regen.
So now
my president has block, so it's not a good idea to be punching the troll.
I think that is partly because you have 2 block trolls. I think that against a normal goblin that just has, like, their 2 trolls and whatever the fuck the third inducement troll is called, knocking out one of their non-block trolls is really valuable early in a game because it makes them unable to pillar against you.
It is. What you're trying to do there is break AV9 and make sure that the regen, if it doesn't regen, and on a normal team, you're going to have to dedicate, like, what, 3?
Yeah, it's like 3+ guys, yeah.
Get, like, a very good punch at the troll. If you do that, that means that you're not protecting your ball that much, and the goblins are going to swarm it, and then you're giving the goblins the chance of getting the ball out of it.
That's true, and that's why I didn't do it. Like,
Yeah, I'm not a fan of punching the troll.
Like,
unless you have some sort of can opener, it's just not good.
Yeah, that makes sense. Punch a troll every turn, because if you have claw, you get him out, you kill the game.
Oh yeah, you KO a couple of trolls with Claw Mighty Blow, and you're just done. Like, it's nothing but goblins left, and you wreck them.
That's what Rusty's going to be doing. That's what Gnatic's going to be doing. So, have fun with that.
I got really, really lucky because I was getting blitzed every turn with the Mighty Blow Tech White. And most of the game, my goblins didn't go out. The only reason that I won that game is that I got really, really lucky with my armor rolls. Because in a normal Blood Bowl universe, I would be losing 1 goblin a turn.
I mean,
at least, but I mean they do have dodge. Like
you're probably only 30-something% to remove a goblin on a given block, right? And like that's with a good killer, right?
Yeah, he had mighty blow tackle block. That's like.
Sure. Okay, so odds are good he knocks it down every time he hits it, and then AV7 stunty, you're still only like 30-something% to remove that guy when you knock him down. So it's less than that.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you're gonna get rid of some goblins, but really, if they're eating your blitz every turn, it's only gonna eat like 3 or 4 every half, which I mean is a bunch, but it's not like your whole team.
The other thing I was trying to do there is
he gets out, it starts the snowball effect.
Exactly, that's true. The snowball effect with removals is
like,
real.
Then you have to start leaving goblins basing guys because you need them to not hit the more valuable goblins or whatever.
Yeah, you gotta not give up punches.
Then you just start losing them quickly.
This game never snowballed. What happened is I actually lost a couple zombies early, and while I was able to remove goblins in equal numbers, that's not really good enough. Because if you're losing trading zombies for goblins, it's not actually great. Like I was basing zombies against goblins towards the end when I could, but the issue is the zombies don't have tackle, and you can still afford to just dodge away his goblins and scream with them.
Yeah, the goblins just leave.
And that's why the mummies weren't great. Like, yeah, I was getting some 3DBs there when he couldn't make the goblin leave, but a lot of times the goblin just left, and then I didn't get the 3DB with the mummy.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, every time the mummies hit, they put a goblin on the ground, usually stuns, but wasn't enough. I mean, sometimes the mummies triple pushed. We both had a lot of pillow hands this game, but that's, I think, a case where it just favored whoever was ahead, and you managed to get a good early lead.
1 in 27, you're almost 4% to triple push.
Yep.
And one thing that I need to say is that right now I am 100% in trolls trying to get the ball and succeeding.
Yeah, I have noticed that your trolls are very good at handling the ball. They're also good at getting MVPs.
They are, man. My trolls, they like, I don't know what kind of like gold mine of like awesome trolls I've hit, because these trolls, they're almost good players.
They're close.
Yeah. I mean, one more vanity pass with them and you're there.
Okay, did either of you level anything in this game?
Nope.
I got a goblin level, but I fired him because what happened was, in like one turn before the end of the game, my chainsaw decided to kill himself. So he just got missed next game. But I can't be missing.
No, you can't. That's death for a chainsaw.
So I just fired him and I rehired him, but that would let me with too much TV because of the goblin level, and I wouldn't get 3 bribes next game.
Oh, that's good.
I fired the goblin that level.
Is that what you're aiming for with your goblining TV? Is just 3 bribes right now? Like it's real hard for you to actually get Ripper, right?
Yeah, getting Ripper is something that might happen, but I'm not counting on it, because the goblin, you really, really need bribes more than anything else.
Absolutely, the 3 bribes are first and foremost.
Yeah, because if you don't have bribes, you're not scary.
Right, like your team, just like half your team removes itself at the half.
Quickly, and then you don't have any more secret weapons. It's like, okay, it's just goblins and a troll.
And not only the secret weapons, but also because
you can't foul as much.
Bribes, you can't follow as much. And if you're playing goblins, you're like, oh look, I have like 2 assists and I'll follow zombie. Yeah, what? If I get something, I get something out of it. You need to be doing that. And if you don't have fouls, you can't. And then suddenly your goblins are just like a little faster halflings.
But when there's not a bunch of them, your goblins are pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm a believer. Like, that was a game where, I mean, I'm not going to not respect goblins. The first game, they immediately killed 3 of my dudes, so I consider goblins to be pretty terrifying, but I also have won my last 2 games against goblins. This was not that. This is probably the best I've ever seen them be.
This is when goblins go right, they're like unbeatable.
Yeah, like goblins are terrifying when they're running on all cylinders. It's just, thankfully, most of the time they don't.
Yeah, it's like a V12 that runs on like 8 cylinders most of the time.
Yeah. One thing that happens is, and that you did very right on the game, was that you were touching goblins. Because last game, for example, I wasn't very lucky. I won the game, but I won the game because my opponent was more worried that I was going to throw the goblins so that I'd throw teammate touchdown. And he was actually trying to do the screen.
That's true. A statistical thing I noticed about this game: you rolled half again as many 1s as you did 6s. So, like, your dice in this game actually were just, on average, pretty bad.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like that. Like, I got really lucky because I got
all the ones wrong stuff that didn't
rolls that matter were good.
Yeah, some of that could be armor roll dice because of how Cyanide counts the dice and stuff, but, like...
dodge dice.
Exactly, like, stuff that can be low.
I noticed there's also a lot of push skulls, and, like, you take the push, or, like, house skulls. Like, our blocks were interesting this game. I'm happy with it. Like, honestly, I don't get to play against goblins much, and I certainly only get to play against goblins that are more than just LOL, I'm going to try and kill you.
You threw a lot of skulls that game, Kyle.
Yeah, I did, but, like, I don't feel like I got dice. Like, I lost that fair and square with...
None of your skulls were with other skulls.
Yeah, and one thing that people should know is that, like, if you're going to play goblins, you're going to play halflings, don't play, oh, LOL, I'm going to kill your guys. Because that's just stupid. You should try to win. You have little chance of winning, so try to have fun, but also try to win. Because if you're just killing the other guys' dudes for no reason,
you should just be playing chorfs.
Yeah, just play chorfs because you're gonna kill a lot more people much more reliably.
Or chaos, or any of the variety of punchy mans. Like goblins is not your murder team. It's just not.
Yeah, that was a cool match.
That's it. We should move on. We should move on to Amazons versus Undead.
The Amazon Menace has been defeated.
It has, in fact. The Amazon Menace was defeated because Furl managed to break his cage on turn 7 and, like, throw it down to a man and score on 8. And then he won one to the second half.
Well, credit to Furl. He is not just a murder man playing Undead. He knows how to move the football.
No, Furl's got a lot of reps. He's a tabletop player too. Plus, he's playing in like all of the tournaments that I've seen available. So
yeah, he plays a lot of.
He does.
He's the best asshole ever.
Yeah,
I love.
No important development in this game. 2 missed next game linos for Zons, but whatever, they were the same.
I thought a Blitzer got MNG'd.
Oh man, no, that's you're thinking of this coming week. That's why he has the miss next game Blitzer on his team now.
Okay.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, I knew one got MNG'd from something.
Yeah, that's next week.
We'll talk about that. That is apparently fucking hilarious.
Yeah, we rolled the week like a couple of days early, and people have gotten a bunch of games in. So.
Yeah.
It's good. The div's moving fast. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Like, we got no problems here about rolling the week early as long as both divisions are done.
Yeah, we want to keep them together for sure.
I think the funniest thing I ran into is last season when we rolled the week like literally 2 weeks early. But
yeah, that happened. We were like 2 weeks ahead by the end. Oh, apparently there was some kind of bullshit ghoul play with a bunch of 5+s that actually won this game for all. I didn't actually see it, but that was what I was told.
Oh dear. Okay, yeah, this is not the one I had a chance to watch because I have interesting taste in games and watched a different one. Yeah. This seems like it would be a really cool game to watch because Denison's actually a pretty solid coach as well. He's newer, but he knows what he's doing, and I think his guard positioning's been pretty solid.
I mean, he played in Blood Bowl 1. It's just been out of it for a while.
Yeah, he's sort of a returning player, right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, he played a fair bit of ogres.
Yeah, he does love to play him some ogres for some reason.
He plays them for real.
Ogres are a lot of fun. They're not a good team.
Your definition of fun and mine might be a little different.
Speaking of ogres,
they murder people.
Magic the Gathering got another MVP.
He did, and it's like well on its way to another level. It's fantastic. Yeah, let's talk about the Groovy Groonies and the Dumb Things, which was Rusty's Necro versus Crate's Humans.
This is not what made Rusty really angry. There was something this week that made Rusty angry, but no, actually I remember what that was.
That thing was a minus armor Frank.
Yeah, this has been a bloody division.
Yes, this is
to Dead Wolf, Rip Frank.
This is Blood Bowl here. It's real sad. One of the Franks caught a minus armor and didn't regen, and it just that's a tough one because now you have an AV8 Frank on the line, and you like can't really get rid of him, right? Not at this point in the league. Like, you gotta ride that one at least a little while you get some money, and even then, giving up Block Frank is scary, right?
Yeah, I think that AV8 block Frank is more useful than an AV9 non-block Frank.
Exactly, that's how I feel about it.
That's totally fair.
You're right, and it sucks.
Yeah.
You're right. Seeing as I rode AV9 no block Frank for literally 2 seasons.
Yeah, man, it's the no block Frank just never gets to take punches. He never levels up.
Meanwhile, Crate managed to get a decent pile of SPP.
Yeah, that's fair. The only guy that he leveled though was his Blodge Catcher, which gets sidestep, and then Rusty levels a white here and gets tackle on it. I assume he's got elves coming up soon. I didn't look.
Maybe.
I mean, he's probably just taking tackle just to have tackle.
I mean, it's good anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also really the ghouls of the 2 undead he has to face.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's enough dodge in the division that you just want tackle.
Speaking of
there's the zombies, there's the elves, the ghouls, the goblins.
Yeah, there's a lot of tackle in this division. A lot of dodge in this division, so that you would want tackle anyway.
These elves, man, I did click through this replay and watch this game real quick.
Yeah, let's talk about Shorfs v Pro Elves. This is a game that I assumed that Moniker just had in the bag because he was going to leave all of these dwarves behind, but some shit happened.
Yeah, nope. On the first half, Hiroshia is actually more of an elf player, honestly. And
he certainly is.
He just spreads. Like, he sends up a team to go punch the ball carrier. Apparently, according to his recounting of it, he just gets pushes against him. But it's enough to force Moniker to make a break when Hiroshia is still spread. He commits hard to Hiroshia's right and just gets boxed in. Ball ends up on the ground next to some hobgoblins and some dwarves, and then just fucking nothing happens the first half. Then the second half, he throws to the hobgoblins, and they just get stalled the entire fucking game. And that is why the story of this game is one MVP.
Exactly. I feel like the ball spent a lot of time on the ground in this game.
Oh my god, yes.
37 and 18%, so 45% of the game was just on the ground.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of MVPs, nobody gets Kaz, so...
Yeah, literally exactly 5 SPP in this game, which levels a lineman, which gets dodge.
I loved watching this game, and let me tell you, that's just because I have a certain amount of spite,
because you're a sadist,
and a certain amount of booze in me. But yes, yes, I'm a sadist, and this is a great game. And while I'm sure it was tremendously frustrating to both of these players because they like winning, and well, one of them likes winning and one of them likes something or whatever.
Yeah,
and
they both
like winning.
They both like winning a lot, but they're both beginning to lose sight of winning.
Nothing happens at all, and it's great. Sorry, guys.
So I'm actually a little surprised that he took dodge on that lineman.
What would you have taken?
I would have taken kick.
That's a fair choice, is kick there.
I mean, dodge is not like a wrong choice by any stretch, but kick is so good on elves.
You're right.
Because you get like just put the ball wherever it's worst for your opponent.
So that's true, but I feel like he just played the team that kick is best against. The only really slow team in this division is those Chorfs. Like, yeah.
I mean, kick is great against like
reasonably
anybody.
Slow. A lot of undead is pretty slow. Necro is fast.
Gobos are middle.
Goblins are not really very fast.
The thing is, though, like any short kick with Pro Elves is great because if they fail a pickup, you just take the ball from them.
It's just your ball.
Yeah.
Like
you make the downside of the pickup so much bigger with kick.
Like, pros almost always want the kick to go short.
Yeah, they want that thing to be on literally the line every kick if they could.
Yeah, or somewhere where, like, I got a blitz, I get to just stand under the ball and catch it now.
Exactly.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. Well, I think at this point, he just needs survivability because he is down to 1 catcher, and that's not a comfortable place to be.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, like I like kick is an awesome skill. It's really, really good. But like, yeah, if I'm playing elves with AV7, I like to have at least like one or two linemen with a little bit of survivability, and before I have kick, because like dodge, it just makes it so much easier to move them around.
They're much better screeners
anymore.
Yeah. No, like I said, I don't think it's a wrong choice. I just would have chosen differently.
This is also only the second dodge on his team.
Well, the first dodge died. That was a catcher. It's not a catcher anymore.
That's right. He did lose a catcher.
That's fair. I mean, he's still in great shape. Look at those fucking blitzers. I mean,
yeah, those are monsters. Holy crap!
Exactly.
Yeah.
For all that everybody loves to rave about Pro Elf catchers, I think the blitzers
are the best piece on that team, and it's not close.
Pieces on the team.
Block step. Like, that is an absurd start. And they have AV8, and they have enough movement to do shit. Oh, they're so good.
They have to survive exactly one game, and they are a blotch stepper, which is obscene.
One game, and they're better than War Dancers. Like, yeah, okay, War Dancers have leap. Fuck leap.
Right? Like, I can just be there anyway.
Sidestep's just way better.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get, like, super sidetracked, I want to talk about next week's games while we're, like, rambling.
Yeah.
And let's just talk about Camel Conference, because we're here. We'll snake back. We'll give the Camels their time in the spotlight first. Here in the middle of the video.
Hiroshia, despite being angry about things, knows how to not get served. On the other hand, Antler Hill does seem to know what he's doing, but he has gotten served. I don't know how this first match is going to go.
Oh, does he
Hiroshia's
have
had a perfectly fine time.
Has he gotten another Chaos Warrior yet? That's an important question.
Good question. Let's look at
he
our
has
roster.
4 now.
He does? Yep.
So yes, friend. He has got a team together. Now he just needs a reroll. He got exactly enough money last week. That's great.
Nice.
Overrated. Rerolls, overrated.
Yeah, Chaos, like, wants them, but doesn't really need them.
Speaking of, let's see. Is there a Bull Centaur? No. Is there an Apo? Yes.
Yeah, he got an Apo a week or so ago.
Is there Mighty Blow yet? Somehow, miraculously, no.
No guys have leveled. It's just like, he keeps putting SPP on the wrong men.
Well, in that case, because there's no Mighty Blow here, I think the Chaos probably has the better odds. That said, if there was a Claw Mighty Blow piece here, I would not give this to the Chaos, because Claw Mighty Blow is actually quite good against those goddamn, they're not Franks, Chaos Warriors.
So now, I think that this game is going to be decided on, like, turn 3 or 4 as to whether or not Hiroshia can remove one of the no-block Chaos Warriors with one of his clawmen.
Yeah. Or Serfs.
Sure. Yeah, certainly. I mean, the dwarves just want to get guys off the field for the drive. They don't care if it's permanent or not.
Well, I mean, permanent is nice.
Yeah, you would much rather have one than the other, but they're almost the same.
Yeah, because if they're out for the drive, a lot of the time it means they're out for the half with dwarves.
Okay, well, how about the Southland Sweet Boys versus the Groovy Groonies?
Oh, that's a Moniker versus Rusty game.
It is.
Oh, man. To the
it's going to be so
eternal
much shit
rivalry.
talk.
Yeah, this is going to be like the shit talk fest of the week for sure.
Hey, I'm walking here from both of them. I don't know. Whoever wins is whoever's in comms with them. Because somebody's going to get mad and it's going to be great.
Oh, yeah, no. Everybody that wins is going to be the people watching this game when it happens.
Yup.
I don't know. I want them both to die.
Either way.
Speaking of very, very dumb and irritating
Moniker.
Oh, yeah.
I'll root for Rusty. Why not?
Sure. Okay, I'll root for the pitch.
That's true. The pitch could probably win this game. I hope it ends like the next game did, where it's a 0-0, and they're both just tremendously frustrated. Okay, I guess I'm also rooting for the pitch.
Yeah.
I want Rusty to win. I want Rusty to win because he beat me.
Ha! I predict that in Dumb Things versus Strong Women Role Models, the Rain will win.
Oh my god, is that what happened in this
That's
game?
what happened. Spoilers. How about Yifmi Furloyd versus Ace Trombonist?
Oh,
yeah, that game was like a...
At the height of his power. Let me have a look at it. Yeah. God damn it, I went too far back.
Talk about your matchup with Undead before we get bogged into next week's match.
It's the mirror, and I do have tackle, so I can kill his ghouls better. So I'm going to basically be targeting his ghouls because that's an advantage that I potentially have. That said, Furl's played more than I have, and he's very good at what he does. So for all that he's a bad guy, he's the bad guy for a reason. So let me have a look at. I'm in the wrong.
You guys have like basically the same team.
Yeah, your teams are basically the same. He has
a sure hands and you
school.
You have like a tackle man. Yeah.
And one of his zombies has block.
Oh no, one of the zombies has block.
That's the only difference.
I think I've got a punching chance. I think he's probably a better player than I am at this point. But in Blood Bowl, that doesn't mean much. That means maybe I have a 45% chance to win.
You also have an extra man.
Pretty good about that.
You have a 5th zombie on him.
Oh, that's great. I spent those 2 levels as an extra zombie. I would actually rather have the extra zombie.
That's exactly what you've done. You basically just have an extra man instead of sure hands and block zombie. Which, I mean, I think potentially favors you.
Yeah, because sure hands is not something that's going to be very... It's not game-changing because it's not like it's countering strip ball in this situation. It's good to pick up, but it's not like it's hard to pick up in 3+.
Exactly. Like, you both got 3 rerolls anyway. You can spend a reroll on that pickup. That's no big deal.
I suspect this is a game that's going to come down to tempo. Like, if I can get his shit on the ground first, and, like, if I can get some mummies in the ground first and start fouling them, I'll win. And if he gets my mummies on the ground, they're eating food. Like, that's just how this is going to go, is one of us is going to try and commit hard to us and make a snowball happen.
I think you want to receive in this game.
Yeah. And then put some zombies on the line and hope he rubs men so I can counterpunch. Then really hope that counterpunch goes well, because if it doesn't, I'm down. No.
I mean, I think you want to be on the offense. I think you want to have the initial tempo in this game.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm running through both scenarios right now. Yeah, I would rather, if I could, but failing that, I'm going to attempt to make it in rub men. But I mean, this is probably not going to do something that dumb.
This is literally as close to gambling as Blood Bowl gets. Like, you're flipping coins here.
Yeah, but what I have to say is that, like, if you have a chance between fouling a mummy or a white, foul the white.
Yeah. No. The lower AV makes sense, and it's a playmaker.
I think that when it comes to foul the mummy or foul the white, you should foul the ghoul.
That is true.
If I can get a ghoul on the ground, I feel pretty good about this. And if I let my ghouls get hit, I fucked up somewhere. And I might fuck up. I mean, this is a game of positioning.
That's what this match is going to be.
It's not gambling. And my positioning's gotten better, but it's still not perfect. At least I know how his team plays.
Okay, now that you're done waxing poetic, ProZock, I want you to wax poetic about your matchup with these necro motherfuckers.
Oh, well.
This team with no positionals that you have to fight. Man, this is probably terrible for you because you have to, like, get inducements against him.
Oh, man. Well, what's happening is, like, I want to see who do you guys... You guys did bet against me the last 2 times, and it kind of proved you wrong.
I mean, I'm afraid to bet on you. I might prove myself wrong again.
No, the thing is, like, this game, it's matchup wise, it's less scary for me than the last one, because that werewolf, the Mighty Blow block werewolf is less scary than the tackle white.
Exactly.
Especially because of the frenzy, because if he gets himself way too deep,
you're gonna kick that boy real hard.
So, but it's goblins, man. It's just like that game. It's gonna be all about my luck of not getting goblins out.
Exactly. Like 40% of the time, your team will implode, but we're talking about the remaining 60%.
So the thing about the remaining 60%, and as much as I'd love to bet on a tie for this one, that man has wolves on his team. They're movement 8, so
he has one wolf.
Okay, he has wolf on this team. It has movement 8. It either scores real easy, and this is a pretty easy 1-0, or I think it's 0-0, because I think he can potentially defend against the goblins pretty well.
I think that this is going to be a matchup where the one-turn touchdown is a viable way to equalize a half or take a score at the end. And I think that putting the saw on the dog will be very important as to the outcome of this matchup.
Yeah. All right. Other conference?
Yeah, let's go look at Wales for a minute. I think I'm going to make my call on that one, though. I think that ProZock has a chance very strongly to either tie or win that game.
I'm betting on tie.
I think that I can tie. I'll give you that.
Oh, man. Quit not believing in yourself.
Speaking of not believing, we have little phrase, Unpunchable Elf versus Already Dead. Both those teams have kind of taken a licking in his last 2 rounds.
Yeah, we only have two matchups to predict here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because unless we find somebody to replace Rylon,
we will.
Yeah, otherwise Tim gets a free win. Somebody, please, for the love of God.
How is that any different from the other games I've played?
Shut up.
Alright.
So how do we feel about Kimry versus Wood Elves? I know how I feel about this, and it's not good for Kimry.
No.
It's Wood Elves, because this is a team that puts the ball on the ground, and a team that punches the ball being on the ground.
This is the team that makes you drop the ball and pick it up again versus the team that can't pick the ball up. So
super rough.
And the team that can't pick the ball up's down one of its big boys. Like this is going to be like a 2-0 or a 3-1 or something. It's going to be ugly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There isn't a single day in my life that I'm gonna bet against a Camry team because I love Camry.
No, I mean Tune in for Div 7 Rel coverage, man. There is a Kimry team there that's going to the playoffs in first place, not close.
Yep.
Yeah, that Camry team is amazing.
It is a monster.
Okay, but the Camry team already dead. He has a Mighty Bull Tackle Blitz, right?
Yeah, no. His team's good.
He does.
Like if he plays smart, he has a very good chance of grinding the 2-1.
Well, the last game, Rain just.
Yeah, that's just Rain.
He's had the issue where his Tomb Guardians have just exploded, so he's been in a case where he's down important men.
Hey, he's down to only one Tomb Guardian a week now.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, well, Mighty River Followers lost to Salmon Express. Lizards beat Vampires. Killer Me shocked. A lot to say about that match, but that's later.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about me and my matchup with these undeadly poos here that hasn't taken any of his fucking levels, so I don't even know what I'm fighting?
Yep, he's in your head already. You're gonna lose. He's in your head.
Okay, thank you, the Cranberries.
Yeah, man. Ruined.
Let them sing it next time instead, okay?
Yeah, I know. I have absolutely no voice for it.
He's gonna roll doubles on that mummy, and he's gonna get Frenzy.
Oh man, yeah, Frenzy God. Mummy would be incredible. I might just scoop to Frenzy Mummy.
It's true. Oh God.
That's it. I feel pretty comfortable in my match here. I know Nert's gonna have to do some work in this one, but I believe in him. He's lucky.
I feel like you got a chance.
No, I mean Nert. Nertnef was my runner that I hired in the last game against Nert, which leveled.
Right, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah. The runner having Dauntless means I think you've got a punching chance, but I only think it's a 50-50. I think you and Voyager are both pretty solid players. I think his position's a little better in terms of undead at this team value, but at the same time, I think you've got enough nice development that pretty even.
I gotta not give him good punches. That's my thing.
So I have to have one complaint about Voyager's team, which that none of these guys are named Bonfire.gif.
Oh man, that is a clear oversight. Maybe he'll buy one. He's got 220K.
Buy a skeleton. Yeah. Name it that.
I assume that he's probably. What do you guys think Voyager's doing here with this team? He's probably just buying another ghoul, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's down at ghoul. Usually, undead carries a skeleton to foul with a bit easier.
But does he even want the 13th man against me?
Oh my God, yes. If he can
probably against you.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but I think he gives me some inducements for that, right? I guess no. He's 1190 with the ghoul, so he's 1230 with another zombie.
Plus assuming he rolls on it's not any significant.
Okay, so in fact, I am still giving him inducements. Check.
Yeah, he might wind up giving you 20k.
No, I am guaranteed giving him inducements, unless he
He hasn't picked his levels yet.
Oh, but the TV goes. Because if they're doubles, it's bigger, right? Yeah.
Yes. So he hasn't picked his levels, and if he picks up a skeleton, he could potentially
cap me.
Give you, he could potentially give you like 10 or 20k or something.
I think it's really unlikely.
But it's unlikely. Yeah,
I'm violently against getting skeletons on teams that can get zombies, because the one less movement isn't all that important because AV8 is just so much more like stable.
Well, you're right. My one skeleton already fucking died because of that. And I'm not hiring another one until I've got all my ghouls taken care of. And since those things explode, it's going to be a minute.
Okay, you're so right. Let's talk about these ones that have happened here in our prediction phase without even looking at the outcomes.
I'm staring at them, so I can't.
Yeah.
All right,
I mean, like we're looking at these. Like I'm saying, we have the outcomes here, but I mean, not like looking into the stats or whatever. Is that do you think that this 1-2 is an upset for Lizards to beat Vamps?
God,
no.
No, I don't think it is either. How about Brett's beating the Dark Elves?
I think that's an upset.
I think that's only a minor upset because this is Brett's at the height of their power.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus Dark Elves that aren't fully online.
I think that these are Brett's that are just like perfect right now.
Yeah, man, people shit a lot on Brett's, but they are a very hard team to play against. Even though they're players, they don't have like. They are hard to build up because your strength access has rest instead of dark. Their skills are just very good at not letting you do stuff.
They have suboptimal skill pairings, but they have a fucking lot of skills, man.
Yeah, I want to learn how to play Brett's well because I think they're a good team.
That's been Jimmy's goal for the last like 6 months.
They're more of a hoper than say Kislev, for example. Sorry,
Kislev is garbage.
I play goblins. I play halflings. I'm not playing Kislev.
Man, you couldn't say it better than that. Okay.
Hey, if I want to like 1 in 9 to turn my turnover all the time, I'll just play Amazons.
I personally like lizards for that because, I mean, Saurus with no block. It's a thing.
Eeny, meeny, take your pick.
Saurus's level, but again, we're already burning next week, so I think at this point, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, man, I think we've covered everything we need to cover. So I guess thanks everyone for tuning in and listening to us ramble about your Blood Bowl matches, and we'll see you again next week.
Yeah, that was fun.
Goodbye.
Thank you for coming on. This is a lot of fun. Goodbye.
Yeah, bye guys.